I obtain a game key for Once Upon a Puppet from Flatter Than Earth and Daedalic Entertainment for review purposes. Once Upon a Puppet is a 2.5D puzzle platformer developed by Flatter Than Earth, published by Daedalic Entertainment, and released on April 23rd of 2025. In Once Upon a Puppet, the world's a stage, literally. Every moment of its whimsical yet surprisingly poignant tale unfolds across a brilliant divide. The gleaming pristine front stage where the rich and powerful parade around the spotlight, and the cluttered chaotic understage, a realm of cast-offs and forgotten souls. It's a clever setup, one that does more than look pretty. It makes a sharp point about class, performance, and the cost of perfection. You play as two unlikely partners who have been tethered together by a spellbound spool. Neve, a former weaver and stagehand exiled from the front stage, and Drev, a scrappy puppet who knows how to survive in the trash-strewn trenches of the understage. The game immediately establishes their dynamic, not just in personality, but in how you play them. Drev is controlled with L2 in the left stick, Neve with R2 in the right stick. This creates a subtle but constant tension, like trying to walk in sync with someone on stilts. You're not meant to be together, but you need to be. That push and pull mechanic becomes the heart of puzzle solving, traversal, and narrative progression. Once Upon a Puppet tells the story of Neve, a once revered weaver from the shining world of the front stage, who is cast out after a failed performance tarnishes her reputation. She awakens in the forgotten depths of the understage, a chaotic realm of discarded props, broken dreams, and castaway puppets. There, she is magically bound to Drev, a scrappy, streetwise puppet who knows how to survive in the shadows. Together, they journey through a world divided by class and perfectionism, uncovering the truth behind the mysterious force known as stage fright, a creeping darkness that infects both worlds with fear and silence. As they search for a way to sever their tether and return to the lives they once knew, Neve and Drev are forced to confront not just the broken systems around them, but their own beliefs, fears, and the very meaning of purpose, performance, and identity. The game's central metaphor is laid bare in how its world operates. In the front stage, everything must look immaculate, even if it means discarding anything that doesn't fit the image. And when something is thrown away from the front stage to the understage, it's considered scrap. No one cares about it, until someone does. Down below, the denizens of the understage pick through these scraps and use them ingeniously. Trash becomes treasure, both practically and thematically. That theme is echoed through Neve's arc. She begins the story worshipping the king and the grandeur of the front stage, believing that if she can just make a new outfit for him, she'll be welcomed back. But as she journeys deeper into the understage with Drev, completing small quests for other characters, collecting stained glass shards, and weaving new outfits with scavenged materials, her perception begins to crack. What is perfection anyway? And who decides what belongs in the light and what deserves to rot in the dark? Drev, ever skeptical, slowly changes too. Through Neve, he begins to see the understage not just as a place to survive, but as a space for rebuilding, for meaning. The two grow together, even as they remain physically awkward, both in control and in story. It's a beautifully written partnership, full of wit, warmth, and quiet growth. Gameplay-wise, Once Upon a Puppet isn't the most mechanically complex puzzle platformer, but it doesn't have to be. The charm is in the nuance. The spools you find offer new abilities, like a double jump or glide, that slowly open up more playful and intricate ways to interact with the world. You will also come across tools that change the way you play. The pacing is breezy, and the platforming, while basic, is backed by a strong sense of momentum and surprise. Every area feels handcrafted, like a paper diorama come to life. There's something darker lurking just behind the velvet curtains. The game's enemies, twisted shadowy figures known as stage fright, represent more than just danger. They're fear itself, watching from the wings. While direct enemy encounters are few, their presence looms large in the background, often more psychological than physical. When you do cross paths with them, it's not about fighting, it's about avoiding them, hiding, staying quiet. It's a subtle mechanic but a powerful one, reinforcing the game's themes of performance anxiety, repression, and the fear we try not to face. The stage fright designs, like the rest of the characters, are imaginative and striking, even if the overall enemy variety is a bit limited. But what the game lacks in enemy types, it makes up for in aesthetic flair, especially through the delightful extra costumes scattered throughout the world. These unlockables don't just offer cosmetic fun and representation of Drev's thespian background, but they also reinforce Drev's journey of self-expression and transformation, and they're a joy to find and wear.
I know why you've come to me. Alas, I have no ending for you. Merely a turning of the page.
That said, not everything runs as smoothly as the script. Once Upon a Puppet is no stranger to technical hiccups. Glitches, characters getting stuck in walls, and moments where physics-based puzzles simply broke, requiring a restart or repeated fiddling with switches. There's also noticeable slowdown in busier scenes, which sometimes pulls you out of the carefully crafted atmosphere. These aren't game-breaking, but they do break the illusion, which stings a little in a game so focused on the performance of perfection. Visually, the game's stage-like presentation oozes character, with a style reminiscent of Puppeteer or Princess Peach Showtime. The environments are layered like a pop-up book while the characters move as if hanging from marionette strings, awkward, expressive, and completely charming. There's an undeniable performance to every moment, a sense that someone, somewhere is always watching or waiting for a curtain to fall. The audio in the game is just as good, with a whimsical score celebrating cheerful moments and a more saddening tone to its music during sourer times. Audio cues and enemy noises are unique and entertaining. Despite its whimsical setup, the game isn't afraid to get introspective. As the mystery of the strange creatures lurking in the shadows deepens, so too does the emotional weight of Neve and Drev's journey. It's about identity, class, and disillusionment. It's about being tied to someone you'll never choose and learning from them anyway. And it's about navigating a world that discards what it fears and finding beauty in what's been thrown away.
In spite of her efforts, the spellbound spool was spoiled. Neve came to understand, like many before her, that fulfilling King Caliban's demands is no trivial task.
Once Upon a Puppet is a very solid puzzle adventure game, quirky, heartfelt, and bursting with style. It might not reinvent the genre, but it doesn't need to. What it does is offer a beautifully staged story about what happens behind the curtain, where the scraps live and where the real magic often lies. I give Once Upon a Puppet an 8 out of 10.